Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Isaac from Guns for Everyone. Was making my dinner, and I was like, this is the thing I got to talk about. I got to get a video up and do this. I'm about to go out of town for a few days, so I'm actually going to put this on a Premiere and have it upload while I'm gone. But the moment struck, and I'm going to talk about it, and I'm not even going to eat my dinner until I'm done discussing this. Um, Home defense. Just today, I just saw a handful of videos about home defense guns and home defense ballistics, etc. And it's a class question that comes up in the free concealed carry class quite a bit. Home defense weapons. What's best for home defense? And the question is often informed by, or people have previous experience with this question around things like ballistics and noise and things like that. All right. Let's put this in order of priority. What's the most important thing about home defense? And that is not to die. That's the most important thing. The context, going back to what we discussed in the last video, self-defense in this context in the home, and that is a dynamic critical incident, surprising, chaotic, and threatening. And because it's a surprising, chaotic, and threatening environment, that happens, or situation that happens in an environment that you have more control over, because a home, a rental, a vacation home, a workplace, a campsite, these are all places that you have some control over compared to Starbucks, the grocery store, the parking lot, the highway, etc. So it is a dynamic critical incident in a place that you have more control over. The evidence that for self-defense incidents, successful and unsuccessful incidents, you see some channels, they try to break down every little detail of it, and it really comes down to just a few factors, whether you're successful or not. The first factor is time. How much time did you have to identify the problem, decide what you were going to do, and implement whatever solution that you had? The other factor is access to your defensive tools. Your defensive tools could be locking yourself into a vehicle or a room or something like that. Just barricade, put separation, meaningful separation between you and the bad guy. It could be a baseball bat, it could be an improvised weapon, but in the case of what we're mostly talking about is a firearm. And that is, did you have access to that firearm? And then the use of those tools with fundamental skill, the ability to employ those tools correctly, or I shouldn't say correctly, I should say effectively implement those tools. And if you notice, all the things I said work their way into what we talked about in the last video, which is efficiency and consistency, probability, plausibility, all within the context of the dynamic critical incident. So here's the answer to the question: what's the best gun for home defense? The best gun for home defense is one that is accessible, that you are proficient with. That's it, period. Now, for most people who train with a firearm, and I put the quotations around that because that means different things to different people. But we'll just throw the blanket statement. People who practice or train with their firearm, they tend to practice and train with their handguns more. I'm not saying it's true for everybody, but it is true for most people who have a handgun for self-defense and do train with it. And what they're doing there is, without maybe acknowledging it or understanding it, or maybe doing it explicitly on purpose, they're focusing their time and resources on the more probable circumstances, and those more probable circumstances that you will have a handgun available to you before you're going to have the rifle or shotgun. So when it comes to proficiency with fundamental skill, it's probably going to be better with a handgun than it is going to be with a rifle or a shotgun. Most people don't train shotguns. If you want evidence of that, just go look at how hard it is to find a shotgun class. And that's not because there aren't people who know how to who don't know how to train people with shotguns. It's that there's nobody signing up for those classes, and so it's hard to find a shotgun class. Mostly because nobody wants to shoot a shotgun all day long. It sucks. So skills, fundamental proficiency, probably a handgun. Exceptions to that, well, if you had formal training with a rifle, the right kind of formal training with a rifle, you're comfortable with a rifle, you understand how it works, how it functions, what the order of operations is, manual of arms, all that stuff. Rifles have the advantage of being generally a little bit more stable shooting platform. Um, so, but most of the time it's going to be a handgun. So there's the fundamental skill, and then accessibility. This is a Voltec. I don't have it all the way in the camera. This is a Voltec. I don't know what the model is. It's the model with the fingerprint, the biometric open sesame on this thing. There are other models that are more expensive, other models that are less expensive, but this is a quick access handgun safe. I don't like using the word safe, but for lack of a better word, handgun safe. This allows me to responsibly secure the firearm and make it quickly accessible should I need it. If I was going to use one of these for a rifle, it gets a lot more expensive and more difficult to configure in a way that's really useful. Where do we keep this? I keep this in the place where I'm most likely to need the gun. If we look at that probability, I keep this usually in my office or my bedroom. But it's mobile. I can move it. It's pretty easy. I can take it to a class to show people what it looks like. I can bring it home, put it on the nightstand. I can put it in the home office. So I can control access to the gun, quick access to the gun, much safer. Or much more efficiently, I should say, not safer. So this makes the handgun more useful in the self-defense. I can get one of these for a rifle. They just cost like twice as much, and they're heavy, and they're more conspicuous, and they are more cumbersome. So if you have more money for your budget, if you have more flexibility in where you store weapons inside the home, then the rifle might outweigh that. Certainly the ballistics in stopping threats is better with a rifle, but we don't want to sacrifice access or skill with the tool just for the one element of better ballistics in the bad guy. So these are the ways that we evaluate home defense weapons. Now, overpenetration is a thing. The ability to put something like a suppressor or a light on the gun is a thing, but none of these things is nearly as important as you being able to access and use that gun to defend life with. So, questions, put them in the comments. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. As I always say, subscribers do not mean shit to me. Likes do not mean shit to me. Comments is where it's at. Understanding that we have an opportunity to break things down and talk about them and further the conversation. Comments made in good faith where we can spend time actually hashing things out. Even comments made in bad faith where all you want to do is talk shit. I love talking shit. If you want to get on my channel and talk shit, I will talk shit right back to you. But if you want to get on the conversation on the channel to talk these things through and disagree and hash this stuff out, I love to have those conversations. So put it in the comments. This is Isaac Chase for Guns for Everyone. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you when I return from my super secret trip.